Welcome to the Inside the U postgame show. Miami Hurricanes pull off an 88-87 win over Syracuse, trailed by as many as 18 points in the first half. It obviously did not look good at one point, but Miami started getting their defense going and, with the full court press, and they were able to make three-point shots. Charlie Moore had a big game tonight, 25 points, as you can see here. Also, Cameron McGusty, another good performance from him, the reigning ACC Player of the Week. And then Isaiah Wong struggled in the first half, had 14 points, all 14 points in the second half. So definitely drop in the comments here. Let me know what you guys think of the game, what you thought about it as it was going on. Miami's 4-0 in the conference. It's a bit surprising. I'm not going to lie there. Another good performance, though. And if you guys are new to this postgame show, I will bring you, as soon as we're able to go live, with the Zoom postgame press conference with Coach Larranaga and the players that are being made available to the media. We'll go straight there, but definitely want to just provide a little bit of analysis, my thoughts on this game. So it stands out to me with Miami's efforts in terms of, like I said, it did not look good at one point. They made some adjustments at halftime. I mentioned that full court press. I thought made Syracuse a little bit uncomfortable. You see the stats here. So Syracuse had 3 guys with 20 points. But it wasn't their top guy in Buddy Boeheim. So they were able to keep him under wraps, only 2 for 7 shooting. He was not able to get into a rhythm. I think that kind of hurt Syracuse at times. But really, it wasn't necessarily what Miami did on defense because they still give up the 87 points. But Miami was able to get the offense going in the second half. I found it very interesting. I said this on the live game thread on InsideTheU. Charlie Moore was attempting a lot of 28-foot three-point shots, because the way Syracuse extends its zone, and Charlie's not a bigger player, but he was able to take advantage by stepping back a little bit further behind the line, and he was able to connect. He makes 6 of 10 from 3. I felt like he did a great job tonight. I think that Miami needs that third scorer because, as you can see, McGusty and Wong are bringing it pretty consistently each and every night. Once again, Isaiah was a little shaky in the first half, but he got it going, and I think that's what you're seeing with Miami. These 2 guys, when they're on the court, are oftentimes either the best players on the court or certainly 2 of the best, and I think that gives Miami a really good chance because I think a lot of teams struggle to keep these guys or really contain these guys when Miami's on offense. So to get Charlie Moore going, to get that third scorer, lately it's been Jordan Miller, but to get Charlie going tonight, certainly a big key. And for however many people were in the crowd tonight, it felt like Miami was really feeding off the energy. Once they got that lead, Bensley Joseph hits that wing three-pointer, and he came off the bench and knocked down a couple threes. But I thought that Miami's crowd did a good job and really kind of igniting this. And you're seeing a team playing with a lot of confidence. And again, 4-0 in the conference. It's going to get tougher from here. It starts on Saturday at number 2 Duke. But, Miami's playing well, and we'll see how things go. It's not like Miami's going to go undefeated or anything like that. It's just that they're 4-0 in the conference. It's only the second time in school history they've done this. The last time they had any kind of start like this was that ACC championship season in 2013 when they started 13-0. So it's only 4 wins, but it is a great start for Miami. Another good win tonight. Once again, if you're just jumping on here, appreciate you for stopping by here. Once again, let me know what you guys think of the game. Paul, what's going on? Yep, amazing comeback. Wong needed that free throw. Yeah, because Cole Swider hit a leaning three-pointer trying to draw that 4-point play at the end, but Isaiah makes that last-second free throw. Miami goes up 4. Swider hits the 3. It doesn't make a difference. So really good performance all the way around. I'll switch off to some more of the stats here. So there's Miami stats, and as you can see, Miami shot 56% in the second half. Certainly they picked it up, and it did not take long to erase that deficit. I touched on that 24-4 run. They scored the last few points of the first half, and then they come out in that second half with those adjustments and just got it going and got that confidence going. So once again, the 3 guards with good performances. As we're waiting here, just waiting on Coach Larranaga and the players, and as soon as they're here, we'll jump right to it. So other things that stand out to me, maybe even quietly, Isaiah does miss the 1 free throw, but he goes 8 for 9 from the line. Miami 19 of 24 from the free throw line, nearly 80%. Definitely a good sign there as well. I want to point out the rebounding numbers. I was looking at them earlier. So Miami was out rebounded 37-34. But again, Miami's not a team that necessarily is going to excel in that category. So I thought the fact that they kept it so close in there, especially with Jesse Edwards doing what he was doing for Syracuse, I thought it was a good sign for Miami that they were able to get some key rebounds, key defensive boards. So I thought that was good. That they were able to stay in there. Jordan Miller with 8 boards, that's definitely a good sign. He had 8 in the 3 ACC games prior to this one. So the fact that he gets 8 in this one, I thought that was a good sign. And we've seen Jordan kind of have some good rebounding games, but it just has not happened in the ACC until tonight. So that was good because, again, Jesse Edwards was doing well in this one. Jimmy Boeheim's a guy that can kind of collect rebounds in bunches for Syracuse as well. And so for Jordan to stay in there, get 8, thought that was good. Dangak got the start, only played 6 minutes. Sam Waardenburg comes back after not playing the last 2 games because of COVID. I thought he was shaky at times, particularly in the first half, much like Miami as a team. I thought he really struggled on defense and not doing much on offense. I think he was 1 for 4, but he was able to hit a 3 in the second half, able to play a little bit better on defense. So just to get him back, I think that's a good sign. And you see he played 29 minutes. He did have a nice steal in the first half. Steal led to a dunk, so that was good. So just flashes from Sam. Certainly I think that they'll make that move back, going with Sam there, starting for Dang. Dang has just not been productive in his minutes, however many he's getting. Again, he was limited to 6 minutes tonight, but he did get the start. Again, I expect that move to be made. Sam has been starting all season long. And I think the other 4 guys are still staying in there. And you're seeing this rotation develop when they have all their guys going with that 9-man rotation. I thought the bench, once again, you're not expecting, any double-digit scoring or anything like that off the bench, but 19 points I'm looking at here. 19 points amongst the 4 guys off the bench. I thought they were good. I mentioned Bensley hit a couple threes. I thought that was good. They needed someone to be able to hit threes. Wuga was a little bit off tonight, just 2 of 4. From the free throw line, misses only 3-pointer. It was an air ball, so not a great offensive game for him, but that's why it was good that Bensley was able to come in off the bench and hit a couple threes. A couple other things. I just want to kind of go to a little bit more stats here on the team comparisons off to the right-hand side, as you can see. Syracuse, let's go to Syracuse's stats. They actually were held to 44% in the second half. And I want to hold on just a second. Looks like we're going to be getting started on the Zoom calls here.
Recording in progress.
All right. Coach, whenever you're ready, we'll start with an opening statement, and then we'll jump into questions. Go ahead, Coach.
Well, I'd say for the 3rd straight time, these ACC conference games have been so exciting down the stretch. Incredible shot making by Syracuse. And we were a little passive in the first half against the zone. We had to make some adjustments, and we were able to do that at halftime, both offensively and defensively, but most importantly, defensively. We came out very aggressive, trapping the ball and trying to force some mistakes, and that got us a nice little run to start the half. We were down 14. We cut it right away, and it became like a 3-point game the rest of the way, and we were able to finish strong like we have in previous games.
All right, we'll jump into questions now for Coach L. If you have a question, please use the hand raise function and wait to be called on. We'll start off with Cal Friedman from WVUM. Cal, go ahead.
Thank you, Alex. Coach, congratulations on the 8th straight win. I wanted to ask about, firstly, the zone in the first half. What were some of the adjustments that you made to be less passive against the zone? And then Isaiah Wong, his performance tonight after being held scoreless for the first 29 minutes, able to score 14 at the end. What does that say about him as a player?
Well, first of all, the zone is designed to put a lot of pressure on your shooters. And even though you can get 3-point shots, they're normally very deep. So our thought was to get the ball inside the paint. And we were able to do that. And then Jesse Edwards started blocking all our shots. And that made it, wait a minute, we got to make a change. We got to figure out. We changed our offense a little bit, and that didn't work. Finally, we went to our man-to-man offense. And our guys started moving the ball better and then driving the ball, getting to the foul line some in the second half. driving in there and kicking it out for better shots, driving it in there and getting layups. So Isaiah has shown he can score in a variety of ways. Actually, I was surprised in the first half. He got a couple of very good looks right by the rim, and they just rimmed in and out. But Charlie Moore, again, was fantastic from start to finish. Cam McGusty, Isaiah in the second half, Jordan Miller in the second half. And one of the big keys was having Sam Waardenburg back, because he does so much for us, handling the ball on offense and defending on defense.
We'll go now to Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald. Michelle, go ahead for Coach L.
Hey, Jim, congratulations. Can you describe what the scene was like in the locker room after? I mean, that was, like you said, a very thrilling game, difficult game. And for them to come out, I'm just wondering what was going on in the locker room after.
Well, I think you guys are just, really thrilled to win 8 in a row, to win 4 in a row at home in the ACC. But, although we will celebrate today, tomorrow we got to get right back to work, because we go on the road now, and everybody knows that you play Duke at home and the Cameron Crazies are there. It's going to be an entirely different environment that we've been playing in for the last month.
Can I ask one follow-up?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about Charlie Moore? I mean, he's been doing it every game, but what did you see in him tonight?
I can't say enough about him. I've told everybody he's been the difference maker in our offense. When you think about guys scoring, which Charlie did today, 25 points, and he does it in a variety of ways. But what he's really sensational at is getting other guys involved. He's like our Tom Brady. I don't know anything about football except Tom Brady's a great quarterback, and he gets all of his team to function as a team, whether it's his running backs or his receivers. And that's what Charlie is doing. And it's been contagious. Look at the 2 passes at the very end of the game. Cam McGusty, touchdown passes like Tom Brady, throwing it to Jordan Miller for a dunk, throwing it to Isaiah Wong for a layup. I mean, those are game-winning plays. When you win by 1, every game, every play, every possession, every basket is important.
Thank you.
Anything else for Coach L? All right, Coach, thank you for your time. We'll have players in shortly.
So you heard Coach Allen. We'll just wait. As we wait for a couple players. Last time they came quick, so we'll just see how they did. There was something that stood out to me with Coach Larranaga mentioned there in terms of going to that man-to-man offense. And for people that didn't catch that, so sometimes, and maybe you guys know, but sometimes if you're facing a zone, you have these zone offenses to try to get some movement. But basically, coaches sometimes will switch to their man-to-man offense to try to create more movement. It has a lot to do with ball screens or with screening. Sometimes players get a little stagnant, particularly on the perimeter, not moving enough on their zone offense. So they'll just say, the heck with that. We're just going to go and we're going to act like we're setting screens sometimes, or we're just going to go ahead and even if it's going through the motions, or if you're just going to go ahead and set a screen on wherever a defender might be in the zone, just to create some movement, which sometimes needs to happen. And it sounds like that's what was kind of the issue at times. There. So once again, we are waiting on a couple players. I expect Charlie Moore to be one of those guys, and then either Isaiah or Cam coming up. So I think it'll be good to kind of hear what Charlie has to say. And hopefully you guys are still here as we wait here just a little bit longer. Here's Sam. I forgot to mute on the Zoom, so everybody heard me.
Hey, Sam, can you hear us? You're on mute, Sam.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, great. We've got forward Sam Waardenburg here. you have questions for Sam, please use the hand raise function. Wait to be called on. We'll start off with Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald. Michelle, go ahead for Sam.
Hi, Sam. First of all, welcome back. Second of all, congratulations. Third of all, what does this win mean? You know, the team has won 7 before tonight. What does this particular win show about your team, do you think? What do you think you guys showed tonight?
Looking on it, I think it shows a few things. Firstly, like, we're doing a great job of just trusting in one another. You know, even when we got down in the first half, we all trusted that coaches were going to put in a good game plan for us at halftime. We trusted in one another, that we're going to work harder and take a next step up. And, you know, that's something that we've emphasized through this stretch, is trusting in one another. And we continue to do that and build on that. And another thing, it just shows fight, you know, like, we're clearly a very talented team, great scorers. And, you know, like, coming into that second half, again, like, you can't, those things don't matter unless you work hard and put in effort. And it just showed again that, you know, this team is willing to fight, willing to put in that extra effort when things are even going bad for us. So that's another great thing that we're seeing.
Can I ask a follow-up? Can you talk about the adjustments you guys made at halftime? I mean, the first half, they were really shutting you down, stifling you with the zone. And then second half, what adjustments did you guys make that were able to allow you to have all those open threes and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we kind of moved back to our like 5-out offense. Our regular offense wasn't really, our regular was like zone offense. We weren't really finding many options in that. It felt like we were just passing it back and forth around the perimeter, kind of finding it difficult to get it into that high post and then kicking it out for the threes. So yeah, we felt a bit uncomfortable in that first half, but we went back to kind of our 5 offense, got those down screens on the wings, got some ball movement, and that kind of allowed for our guys to kind of get into the paint a bit more from the perimeter with the ball screens and whatnot. And from there, we were able to kick it out for threes. Charlie did an amazing job knocking down threes. You know, and when we got it to that corner as well, you know, you saw Zay attacking that baseline. We felt like he had a good advantage there. So those are kind of the things we were looking for, getting it into the paint from the perimeter through the dribble and getting more ball screens, getting more comfortable in that.
Thank you.
Michael Euro from 305 Sports. Michael, go ahead for Sam.
Hey, Sam, can you talk about how Charlie Moore, 25 points today, how he stepped up and, you know, hit some of those threes that, you know, just took over?
Yeah. No, Charlie's great. You know, one game he'll look to pass it. He knows his role, and tonight he knew, you know, we had to hit some threes against the zone, and he did an amazing job of that. It's something he doesn't practice all the time. You know, it feels like he's got limitless range. He stepped back, knocking them down. He's been amazing for us, and he's a great leader as well. You know, through the tough times in the first half, and when we're building that lead and whatnot in the second half as well, you know, he was constantly talking, making sure that we're locked in, not giving it up. And yeah, he just did an amazing job for us tonight, and so far in the stretch as well.
We'll go now to Cal Friedman from WVUM. Cal.
Hey, Sam, congratulations on the win. The first year you were at Miami, your team made the tournament. And now this season, you're looking at 12-3. Does this team feel different in terms of not just the preparation, but the fight that this team puts in every single night?
You know, it's been a few difficult years, past 2 or 3 years, and it just feels like this year, as I was saying before, that trust in one another. You know, it's kind of just a different feel, the locker room, in practice and whatnot. Guys just, I don't know, the communication is just at a different level, and guys are just having fun. I think that's one of the most important things. You know, when you trust in one another, and you know that translates to games and winning, creates such a fun environment, and guys just want to come in, bring a lot of energy. They want to get into the gym, and you know that's just something that's contagious throughout one another. And you know that's something that's really stood out this year, and we're going to continue to build on it. You know, down the stretch, ACC play is so fun. You know, these close games. I was at home watching Wake Forest and NC State, and I was sweating, screaming. Those games are fun to watch, and they're even more fun to play. And so hopefully keeping on going, you know, we're going to keep building on that, and hopefully it'll be successful for us.
Go back to Michael Euro.
Sam, you got a couple freshmen, you know, Wooga and Bensley. What have you told them about those road trips to Duke and, you know, just what to expect?
Yeah, well, you can't really, you know, you can tell them about it, but they're really not going to know until they experience it, especially at Duke. Cameron crazies, you know. Yeah, it's insane. It's an insane environment, and not even you know, at Florida State or at Virginia, you know, those gyms and those arenas, you got to experience them, you know. And but I think thinking back on my freshman year when I came in, when you know, had quite an old veteran team, and those guys really helped us young guys at that time when it was you know, their experience and whatnot. When you have an experienced teams, when you're going to these arenas, that kind of helps a lot. So hopefully, you know, with the veteran team that we have this year, you know, we can really emphasize to these guys, you know, you're going to experience it, but be ready for it, because, you know, it's something you probably haven't experienced ever before.
All right, Sam, thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
We'll have Charlie Moore in next. Hey, Charlie, can you hear us?
Yes.
All right, great. We've got guard Charlie Moore here after a season-high 25-point performance. I'll go right into questions for Charlie. If you have one, please use the hand raise function and wait to be called on. We'll start with Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald. Michelle?
Charlie, congratulations. That was quite an exciting game and finish. Can you just talk about the adjustment you guys made in the second half, and, you know, what was basically the difference between the two halves there?
Thank you. Second half, you know, we just picked up our energy. Going into halftime, you know, we just tried to stay together, you know, gather ourselves, and, you know, we came up with, you know, just picking up the energy on defensive end. You know, the defensive end led to us getting good shots offensively, and, you know, it led to us coming back and, you know, eventually getting the win.
Go now to Cal Freedom, WVUM. Cal.
Thank you, Alex. Charlie, when we talked back before the season, you told me the reason you came here was to win. How big are wins like these going into the toughest part of your schedule?
This is huge. You know, I feel like ACC play, every game is big. You know, it's great. All these teams are great. You know, we got great players. You know, used to winning as well. So, you know, these games are big. You know, we just got to take one game at a time. You know, and just trying to keep getting better each and every day.
Go to West Lammy from worldwidewest.com. West.
Hey, Charlie, can you talk about the maturity of the team, the way that you guys were able to just grow before us here at this point of the season?
Well, you know, I think it was just, you know, us, the will to win, you know, us not wanting to lose. You know, we came together as a team. You know, we seen what we needed to do, and, you know, second half we executed what we needed to do, and, you know, it helped us come out with the win, like I said.
Go to Manny Navarro from The Athletic now.
Hey, Charlie, congrats on the win. Curious, are you a Tom Brady fan? That's who Coach L just compared you to.
Yeah, I like Tom Brady. He the GOAT.
he engineered a pretty big comeback in the Super Bowl. I mean, down 18 first half tonight, I guess. Were you thinking at that point, hey, we can do this, we can definitely pull this off?
Definitely. You know, I never doubted us tonight. You know, I always told our team, you know, to stay together. You know, we just got to make little adjustments. You know, we made those adjustments, and it helped us out.
Go back to Michelle Kaufman now. Michelle.
Charlie, you said you never doubted yourself. When you guys were down by 18, what were you telling your teammates, and why were you not doubting the team when, you know, it looked like their defense was completely shutting you down? You were down by 18. It looked like the team was out of it. What did you tell your teammates, and what is it that made you believe in the team?
I just told the team, you know, just stay together. You know, I feel like I seen that, you know, we were getting some good shots. You know, we were getting in the paint. You know, at the same time, we were trying to figure out how we were going to score against, you know, the 2-3. You know, they do that. They run that every game. You know, it's something they're very good at. So we just had to figure it out, make minor adjustments. Then I also seen that on the defensive end that we wasn't really, you know, picking up our energy. And so I feel like if we did those things, you know, we can eventually, you know, make a run. And, you know, we did that.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, go ahead, Michelle. Last question for Charlie.
Yeah. Can you just talk about the Syracuse zone? I mean, you've played a lot of different teams and a lot of different styles in all the schools you were at. What is it like playing against that?
No, it's not easy. They're a long, tall team with a guy that's 7'2" in the middle, ready to block shots. They active on the wings as well. So, it's not easy playing against that zone, I'll tell you that.
All right, Charlie, thank you very much for your time. Everyone else, thank you. Hope to see you back here at Watsco Center on the 18th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So there we go. That wraps up the interview portion. Hopefully you guys were able to pay attention and it didn't pause too much on the stream. I touched on it there. I accidentally was doing the broadcast live during the Zoom. So I apologize to the people that had to listen to me a couple times. So a few things that stood out to me, kind of reacting to some of the things that the players said. And I was kind of thinking about kind of the thing that Charlie Moore was saying. Basically, they got off to this 4-3 start to the season. And basically, it just kind of stood out. So, it just wasn't the team that they wanted to be. They made some adjustments. And I think one of the things that they were able to do was really, in the early portion of a college basketball season, you're able to really kind of try to find out more about your team with your identity, find out what type of team you're going to be, play to your strengths. That's the biggest thing in college basketball, college sports in general. But with college basketball, it's tough to have that all-around team, the 5 scorers, that can do everything. Every team's got its strengths. And I think with Miami, they're really doing their best to play to their strengths with Isaiah Wong and Cameron McGusty leading the way as scorers that can kind of do it inside and out. They can get to the basket. They can make 3-pointers. And they're very tough to stop. They're 2 of the better guards in the ACC. I've seen a lot of the teams in the ACC play, and Miami's duo here is they've got 2 of the best, if not the best guards in the conference. So they're playing at a high level. And now they're getting the play from Jordan. Jordan Miller's been picking up his production. Charlie Moore's been able to contribute, and obviously a big one tonight. But then, these other guys like Sam Waardenburg, he's not going to be a 15-point scorer for a season, but he's going to be able to do the things like Coach Larranaga said, where he's very valuable to their offense. You see him either get the ball at the high post, make passes out of there. They can kind of play off of him a little bit. And he can kind of make that. You saw him hit a 3 tonight, so he can kind of get it at certain times. I touched on the steal and dunk earlier, so he's just able to kind of provide a little bit. And I think that's the key for a guy like Sam, also on the defensive end, get those rebounds. And again, he was important tonight, not just because of what Coach Larranaga said, because of the things that he brings to the team, but because of their rotation. They don't have a lot of front court players, a lot of depth there. So they need all those guys in there to be able to be used, and certainly each one of them brings something different. I thought at times Anthony Walker was plugged in at that high post spot and struggled against the zone, and you saw other guys get in there. Jordan Miller was there at times, sometimes even Dane Gack, even though he's the bigger guy, he was up there a few times. Cameron McGusty kind of rotated in. They kind of moved different guys around to kind of give that different look there. So Definitely was interesting to see the adjustments, the way that they brought it there. And I touched on it earlier because Coach Larranaga mentioned that it's kind of switching to that man offense, which isn't that uncommon for basketball teams at all levels to do. Again, trying to create more movement within the offense. And I think a lot of times you need that, those screens, because again, you're trying to just move around a little bit, and there's not a lot to move around to when you're facing a zone. Even though they practice it and to go against it, it's definitely tough going against it. I would have liked to. I'm going to get better at this in terms of the live streams, but I definitely would have liked to have asked Charlie Moore about his deep 3-point shots, if it was something he was really working on in practice, because he attempted 10 threes. Let me switch to the stats here. He shot 10 threes, but a lot of them were deeper, and I wondered if he was working on that, knowing that Syracuse with their length at the guard position could give him trouble. But also, too, on those wing spots, the way they do their 2-3, they have those wings on the baseline. They actually extend up to guard the wings, and they've got Cole Swider and Jimmy Boeheim both listed around 6'7", 6'8", so they've got good length there. That makes it tough to get off threes. So good to see Charlie, but a lot of good questions from the reporters. Just not able to jump in as I'm trying to manage the live stream here, but I would have liked to have asked that. Big one coming up, Miami at Duke on Saturday. Hopefully everybody's able to tune in there. I want to get in on a few more things. I see people jumping in on the comments, which is great to see. Yeah, Dennis mentions it right there. It's kind of what I was just saying. In college, when you got guards, you always got a chance, definitely, and especially scoring guards. You got a pair of them, guys that know what it takes. And the thing is with this team is there's a lot of veterans on this team, and I think that's the thing that you like about this team. Not just that you got those two high-level guards, but Cameron McGusty in his 6th year, touched on Sam Waardenburg, year 6, Charlie Moore, year 6, school number 3. So actually it's school number 4 because Charlie, been at Cal, KU, DePaul, and now Miami. So it's school number 4 for Miami. For Charlie. So, these guys have a lot of experience, and now they're settling into roles, which I think is always big for college teams. On the message boards earlier in the week or earlier today, someone talked about Louisville, and that was one of the things that I don't really like about Louisville at this time. Although they're getting wins, I think Louisville is a team that needs to, get their roles established. I'm really curious to see how this North Carolina game is going. They're a team that I think it can be tough as the season goes on. Duke's clearly the front runner in this conference, and Miami's got a tough one. Again, they're gaining confidence through wins. Somebody asked, Josh asked, when's the last time Miami's been 4-0? Miami's only been 3-0 in the conference one other time, and now 4-0. So that was their championship season in 2013. They go 13-0 out of the gate. So I know it's only 4 wins. It's only, or even when they were 3-0, a lot of work to be done because all these games were at home. Clearly going on the road will be a difficult task, not necessarily for Saturday, but just the run moving forward. Miami's going to have to figure out a way to win games on the road in this conference. And the key for right now for Miami is to continue to improve, understand the roles, kind of try to hide their weaknesses as much as possible, particularly on the inside. You saw Jesse Edwards able to exploit it in the first half, get some dunks down low. Miami's got to be better on their dribble penetration, defending the dribble penetration, because Jesse was able to get some easy dunks there. So that's something that I'm sure they'll flip on the tape and see that they got to be better there. But just kind of hide the weaknesses as much as possible and then play to the strengths. That's certainly going to be key for this team. And the key, moving forward is staying ahead of these other teams, because other teams in the ACC are going to work on, establishing roles, identities, all that as things move forward in their conference play as well. So Miami looks good right now, 4-0, scoring points. They scored 90 in the previous 2 games, put up an 88 spot. Not every college team is doing that. So that's a good sign. You see Miami was able to score 88 points, 44% shooting. It's a really good mark. Makes 11 3-pointers tonight. Also, turnovers, Miami just with 10 turnovers, good to see. I touched on the rebounding earlier, that they did a good job in staying close. Miami's not a team that's going to out-rebound their opponents, but certainly be competitive there, particularly on the offensive rebounds. So you see Syracuse had 13 offensive rebounds. So Miami did a pretty good job as they were able to get 13 on their own. Miami was allowing 10 coming into the game in conference games, or 10 overall. I take that back. So to give up 13, that's close to their season average. And Miami was able to get the defensive rebounds just enough to keep Syracuse out of there. Certainly defending the 3-point shot, certainly is something to keep an eye. Syracuse was able to score 87 points, so it's not everything's perfect. But the way that Miami came back in this one, down 18 in the first half, again, you're building confidence. There's a lot of these ACC teams don't have these all-around teams that are great teams. Duke's the only team that's ranked. So Miami, if they can stay in this, continue to win games, and kind of move up and stay in that top pack, because at this time you're not expecting a bunch of teams to make the ACC tournament or the NCAA tournament. And I think the latest projection I saw, only 4 teams were getting in. So Miami has to stay in that top 5 to have a shot there. You don't want to be in the middle of the pack, because I don't think this is a deep conference at this time. So Miami has to continue to stay up. And like I said, there are not a lot of threatening teams in this conference at this time. I do want to go ahead and wrap this up. It was a good show. I'm still going to work on some things. One of the things I'd like to do moving forward, if we're doing the Zoom calls. I'd like to be able to, if I could rotate, being able to get the opposing coach in, just so you could see them and kind of just keep the thing rolling. Tonight, I was going to do it tonight, but Coach Boeheim actually was doing his live, which makes it tougher to do that. But definitely that's one thing I'd like to do moving forward. But I definitely want to keep doing it, keep promoting this. Definitely appreciate everybody for jumping on here. And Jeff, yep, soon 15,000 subscribers. Yes, we're getting very close. I said it in my last video that I did for the channel. My goal for the end of 2022 is to get to 20,000 subscribers. It would be even a bigger increase from what we did last year, but I feel like we can do this. There's a lot of positive things going on at Miami, particularly with the football program, a lot to be excited for. So we're going to keep working on that. And yeah, we'll wrap this up. Jeff had to say, with that Cam's draft stock, I do like Cam as an NBA draft prospect, and we'll see. Not necessarily first round or anything like that, but he's playing really well. I like guys that do the all-around, that has that all-around game. I think a guy like Cam continues to keep his three-point shooting up. He's going to have a chance to be one of those guys, one of those senior draftees, or definitely get a shot either it's training camp. But certainly a lot to get into with that moving forward. A lot of season still left, but certainly reasons to be excited for if you're a Miami fan. So thanks again for everybody for jumping on. Let's keep this thing going. I'll work on a few of the glitches, keep looking to improve the show, but definitely want to thank everybody. And stay tuned. More information. I definitely am going to break down 5 takeaways on the website. So definitely stay locked in InsideTheU.com. Plenty of information on the basketball team, football team as well. Baseball is getting ready to get started with their preseason practice.